Hi, guys. Thanks for joining us this Saturday afternoon. Thanks for again spending your free time with us. And we promise to teach you a whole lot more in this week's episode. Now, Ben is in the weather, under the weather rather, and I'll be the host and the interviewer as well. But the the panelist or the interviewee we have right now is someone that's a bit familiar to the people who already watched the previous episodes because she's also the one who discussed the importance and tips about how to sleep better. And we have her now to talk a little bit about emotional freedom. So, what is the emotional freedom technique? How can it help us? And why is it important for not just us athletes, but for everyone during this pandemic because we all know that everyone is again going through a lot. Now, I guess it's the perfect time to bring her in. We have Ellie again from Unlimited, and of course, I'll let her introduce herself again. But she's a biohacking expert, and she can help us a whole lot during this particular time. So, hi, Ellie.
Hi, Coach Don, and hi, everybody. Thank you once again for having me on the show. It's really quite a privilege. I'm Eli Abela. I am the biohacking pioneer of the Philippines and the country's first human potential coach under Bulletproof founder Dave Asprey. And my advocacy is to help people empower themselves so that they're stronger and they're better without the help of medication. They activate their superpowers. That's what my message is and Unlimited's message as well.
All right. So, thanks a lot, Ellie, for again joining us. Kasi meron talaga tayong, I guess, clamor for you to come back. Kasi ang daming natuwa doon sa previous episode that we
Right.
did have. I guess maraming hindi makatulog during this time. At kasama na rin ako doon. Pero I really tried to um, do all the tips that you gave. Well, not all yet, obviously. Pero little by little, I'm going through the motions. And talaga, I've noticed a huge difference. So I've been taking care of yung may circadian rhythm. Pag medyo gabi na, I try to limit the exposure I have to light that will, yung 'di ba when you talk about white light or blue light, we're exposed to a certain stimulus that will parang trick our mind to the thinking, oh, it's still daytime, gonna. And apart from that, just having a more, I guess, conscious effort in terms of what you're doing. You're being more aware about the things happening around you. So that parang mas naging kalmado ako, especially towards the end of the day. So if any of you have problems sleeping, then you can check out our previous live stream. I'll maybe post the link in the comment section later on. Pero talagang, dami natuwa doon. So again, thank you for being with us this afternoon, Ellie. Now, the next topic that we do have is about emotions, di ba? It's about managing things like frustration, anxiety, even trauma. Kasi when you talk about emotions, it's so wide. Sometimes hindi mo na alam, yung scope niya. Kasi meron tayong emotions that we are aware of. We also have emotions that are in our subliminal or subconscious rather. So hindi na natin masyado mag-grasp or it's very hard to pick, right? Now, first of all, let's talk a little bit about what you mean by emotions and what does emotional freedom mean.
Yeah, okay. Good questions. Coach Don, I wanted to go back to what you were saying about the sleep, no? I actually prepared something for your viewers, which I will get into later, but it is an ebook on sleep. So everything that I talked about and more. So there's even more tips here that you can try immediately tonight to sleep kaagad. Okay, so I'll talk about that later. But the question I have for athletes though, since we're talking to your clients and to athletes out there, I mentioned in my one of my latest posts that the athletes are the most inflamed people on the planet, diba? Because of what they put their bodies through. It's so rigorous, right? So perhaps you found yourself anxious over COVID because there are no maybe you were gearing up for a race before COVID, and COVID happened. And so bigla na lang you were, thrown off kilter about the unexpected, and also the uncertain can cause a lot of stress. Am I gonna get sick? What am I gonna do to be in top form while I'm not training for any races? Am I gonna be able to race again after COVID? When is racing season gonna start? So there are all these questions just going around, and that causes stress, that causes anxiety. And emotions are is not anything but it's like energy in motion. So emotion is energy in motion, and they're triggered by the body to have a certain response. And usually the response is one of survival. It's a question of survival. The body is just trying to get you through a hurdle that you recognize is there's something that I have to get over, and the body is trying to recruit all these chemicals and all these survival mechanisms that it knows to have you survive. Unfortunately, the body stays in that stress response for a long time. Diba? So emotions are worry, panic, fear, anxiety, all of these things that you're feeling around a particular stimulus, around a particular event. No? And if we keep it inside the body, it will accumulate there. It will just stay there. And then it will just go around and around and around in circles. It's like malware. It's like a virus that is kind of running in the background and running all these programs that you're not aware of, but it's there. So it's just running around in your energetic fields, going around, and suddenly you feel like um, you don't feel like racing anymore. You're anxious. You can't sleep. So this is one of the number one reasons for people not sleeping is there's this stress and this anxiety that's running, coursing through the system. There's too much cortisol in the system so that you can't get yourself to fall asleep because the very hormones that need to run for you to sleep is being blocked by cortisol. So that's why I feel it's important for everybody to know how to regulate themselves and find emotional freedom so that they can find deep sleep. So it's a good thing that we're talking about this.
Yeah,
today.
I think it's one of the little things that again a lot of people take for granted, because when you talk about sleep, people automatically assume sometimes that it's something that's passive. You don't, when you're tired you sleep, that's it.
Yeah.
Because you really have to work for for deep sleep and for proper sleep, kasi hindi yan biro. And tulad nga ng sinabi mo, 'di ba, a lot of people actually suffer from sleep indirectly through becoming sick, even 'di ba, yung you were mentioning before, may possible link siya with cancer and etc. So again, I'm pretty sure when you talk about emotions, it also has a direct, 'di ba, what you said, may direct relationship siya with sleep. Ibig sabihin may direct relationship rin siya with getting sick. Kasi
Yes.
when I was growing up, I'd hear, siguro mga grade school ako, I'd hear people say na parang, stress is something like a number one cause of sickness, blah, blah, blah. Growing up, I didn't really see the connection. Parang I thought it was just like marketing ploy to tell people na, oh, hindi, you need to buy this particular supplement and etc. Pero ngayon that I'm an adult and I've, iba yung stress being grade school student to being an adult, like taking care of your family, etc. So I could really see how important that is. And yun nga, the reason why we're doing this is again to help people. Now, sige, I'll let you continue. When you talk about emotions, how do you even regulate that? Kasi 'di ba, when something happens, the natural response of the body is to feel something, di ba?
Yes.
You feel angry, you feel happy. Now, how do we even parang, put a break, or I guess channel the emotions such that it won't harm us? Kasi yun yung sa totoo lang, that's something that I know a lot of people would want to learn more about.
Yeah. Yeah. So definitely you're right when you say that stress is the number one cause of all disease. It's so true. Maybe 98% of all disease is psychosomatic. So You feel it, and then the body expresses it. So the nervous system, which is what regulates our stress, puts us back to center. The nervous system is directly connected to the immune system. So it's all about survival. That's why they're connected. So kailangan talaga, when there's a stressful event, the immune system kicks into action to keep you alive, to keep you thriving, so that you don't collapse and die. So, but if you're always stressed, which is the case with athletes, diba? For athletes, I believe all levels stress, physical stress, diba? Mental stress, overthinking, mulling over past mistakes, performance anxiety. That's huge stress. And then there's emotional stress. Perhaps from childhood, you could hear your mom's voice saying, you'll never amount to anything. Oh, you're not good enough. Or your dad saying that when you were a child. That plays into your game also. So there's emotional trauma from the past that's also playing. So all of these levels of stress in athletes, talaga, the trajectory will be illness if you don't regulate yourself. As you said, Coach Don, sleep lang, no? Sleep lang. Sleep is really important, but sometimes sleep is not enough for an athlete to recover. You really need extra. You really need to work harder, no? But here's the good news, guys. It's super easy to relieve oneself of your stress, like on the dot, right here and now. You can equip yourself with a technique to remove it from your body, no? So, but this is the thing, you have to practice. Use it or lose it. You have to do it, and you have to be self-aware. Now, oh my gosh, I'm stressed right now. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put myself back to equilibrium, to center. Because if you don't release energy, kasi it doesn't change, diba? It just transfers. But if there's no outlet for it to go anywhere, it'll just keep staying, circulating in the body. So what we're doing with these techniques that I will teach you right now is we're mobilizing the energy out so that it doesn't stay stuck, so it moves. So this particular thing, you guys, Coach Don, do you know what acupuncture is? I'm sure you're familiar, right?
I tried it. It's
Yeah.
it's actually a different sensation, and I recommend people to, if you haven't tried out acupuncture. I know it to some parang medyo apprehensive sila, but I really liked it.
Yeah. So emotional freedom technique, EFT, what I'm teaching you is actually acupuncture without needles. So it
Okay, that's
borrows on the concept of, without needles. Yeah. So you don't need needles. You can empower yourself with just your fingertips, no? So everything that you need to come back to center and to become whole again is in your DNA. You just have to hack it. That's it. So that's what biohacking is all about. You hack those pathways that enable the human being to come back to equilibrium. And it's so easy, it's instant, right? So acupuncture uses the meridians. No? So meridians are the energy centers of the body that the ancients were able to discover. Now there's chakras, but there's also meridians, and they go through the organs, different organs. So there are 12, actually 14, 12 main meridians, and then the governing and the conception vessel. So they're this comprises our meridians. So the idea is that when you have a stressful event or an intense emotion happening, there's a particular meridian in which the energy is stuck, right? So we don't know what meridian that is unless you're real intuitive, no? So what we do is, okay, since we don't know what meridian it is, we will just tap into all the meridians, no matter what emotion I feel. It's the same sequence all the time because that sequence covers all the meridians. So whatever meridian it's hiding in, we will tap them all. So it's easy. You don't have to think, diba? Okay. So that's what we do. Now, EFT can be used for the stress relief in the here and now. If you feel something, you can release it. But it's also used for deep trauma, deep emotional trauma that happened from childhood. Diba? Kasi what happened in childhood, that miswiring is still going on until now, and still the signal it's still going on. The malware is still playing. So it's always good to go back to the past and remove that core trauma so that energy is really flowing and you can move on to your destiny, your purpose, your mission, kasi there's nothing blocking that anymore. So yeah. But what I will teach you today is the practical. Practical. By the way, I'm also coming up with a basic course of EFT, online course. I will be promoting that. My goal is to get people to empower themselves and to not be dependent on medication, not need to go to the doctor, just do it in the here and now and help themselves, help their kids as well. Use this with your kids, guys, because they need self-regulation, right? They need to come back to center. Okay, so that's what I'd like to do.
Okay, so when you talk about these, kasi for some people when you discuss like energy, diba, meridian, etc. So not only are not a lot of people aware what these are, yung iba medyo apprehensive kasi parang it sounds like it's like magic, diba? Parang ganyan. Pero ako, what I realized is a lot of times when you talk about traditional or alternative medicine and compare it with traditional medicine like Western medicine, sometimes the I guess the language is different, pero yung yung pag-correlate ng certain things, it's just not as explicit as most people would like. Kasi when you talk about yun nga, parang the nervous system, 'di ba, parang ang laking bagay actually yung, for example, if you have a headache, you pinch a particular part of your, let's say, your hand or yung dito.
It's LI4.
So yun nga, parang there's actually evidence towards that, but just that it hasn't been given the same I guess attention as more Western types of medicine, di ba? Ako naman, the way I look at it, it's like if it doesn't work for me, then it doesn't. But there's no real harm in trying, especially these, di ba? Yung So for a lot of people who have deep emotional trauma, instead of maybe taking in a lot of medicine to try and combat that, baka mas less risky pa nga yung approach na ganito, 'di ba? Even if some people aren't that comfortable with it yet. Again, siguro yung emphasis ko dito is that if you haven't tried it, 'di ba? Or I guess the better way of saying it is it's better to judge it until you've tried it, 'di ba? Now, so when you talk about this type of treatment, let's say acupuncture na without any needles, how do you stimulate that particular meridian or yung what do you call it, parang pressure point ba, or so can you tell us a little bit about, let's say, the process? If I'm for example, everyone has some sort of trauma that they encountered in their life. Kaya nga tayo may mga times that we are bothered more by certain things compared to other people, diba? We might think it's normal to, for example, ako, I have a sense of fear about not performing up to par. Kasi I'm very results oriented, I'm very goal oriented. I always have a plan. But at the same time, it's very hard for me to think about failure. Now I'm pretty sure it's part of my yung growing up na I'm an honor student, things like that, na parang I'm somewhat grade conscious. So all these little things kasi, of course, we don't really put a lot of emphasis in growing up, and it starts to manifest when we're older. Like like when I said na we're exposed to more stress. Now, let's say for me, if I want to get help managing my these all these emotions, all these stress factors, what's a proper, or what's the best way to start?
Yeah.
Is it something that can, be done online? Of course, I'm pretty sure mas maganda if it's for face to face, in unlimited in Mandaluyong, right? So, let's talk a little bit about that, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people would like to learn about, how to get started.
Yeah, sure. So yes, actually, the reason I chose EFT is because you can empower yourself with even online videos. Like you go online and then you follow the tapping sequence, you will feel immediate relief. This is why I love this modality. It's not a secret. It's all out there. It's on the internet. You can download stuff, and I can just teach you here, and you will feel immediate relief. Now, what you do is you have to be self-aware. So when you're stressed, you have to be aware that you're under stress. Or when you're afraid or you're feeling fear, you have to be aware that I'm feeling this. And you have to take it upon yourself to take action. Do something about it. Really stop in your tracks and relieve yourself and release yourself. Release the emotions from yourself. So, Coach Don, let's take you for an example. Um, you said you're feeling fear about the future, uncertainty, no, or fear of maybe I'm not up to par, no. As an emotional freedom therapist, as a trauma therapist, my first question for you would be childhood. Who put this in you? Who programmed fear of failure in you? Usually, it's mom, dad, a teacher, or perhaps a bully in school, no, who pushed you around, and you felt like a failure, made you feel like that, and you told yourself, I don't ever want to feel like that again, and so that's why you push super hard, no. But for practical purposes, I want to teach people how to self-regulate now. No, so let's use. Is it okay, Coach Don, if we use you as our as our
No problem,
yeah.
for everyone's viewing pleasure. Hindi, joke lang.
Yeah. Okay. So
Sige.
the first thing you have to do is to recognize the emotion. So you said fear, no? So some people might feel sadness, anger, grief, resentment. Those are other emotions. So the first thing to do is identify what you're feeling. So for you, it's fear, right? Now, the next thing is to give it a number, because it's the emotions are very subjective, but we want to try to objectify it as much as possible. You give it a number between 0 and 10 in terms of intensity. 10 is like skyrocketing fear. 0 is it's not there. So what number, Coach Don, here between
Okay
0
to,
and
so
10?
know your numbers.
Yes.
Pero, you mean, kasi syempre it varies
Yes.
throughout different
Yes.
stages. So would you say, my rating now?
Yeah. Intuit
Now?
lang. Just intuit.
So,
As a subconscious. Yeah.
siguro 6, or
Okay.
sige, 6.5 para gitna. Pwede
Okay.
ba yun?
Six.
Half number.
Yeah, pwede. In fact, pwedeng 50, di ba? I have
Yeah.
clients, I was like, oh, how sad do you feel? 50. Ganon, kasad. So, any number, okay? So, 6.5. Are you feeling it anywhere in your body? And it's okay if you're not, but some people into it, I feel it somewhere in the shoulder,
Chest.
the chest.
Chest.
Okay.
Yeah, middle of the chest.
Middle of the chest. Is there a color or a shape to this
I
fear?
can't, siguro siguro parang dark purple, parang ganon. Yung, I guess, if I could associate a color to it. Yeah.
A dark purple texture, any smooth, rough, whatever, any
Parang dull. Yung, alam mo yung
dull.
dull and wide. Parang medyo, it's a
Yeah.
general area. I wouldn't say it's
Okay.
sharp.
Yeah.
It's more like pressure.
Okay. So there's like a dull pressure, and you said it's kind of dark
Yes.
circle in the chest.
Yeah.
Okay. So there. And if there's no description, it's okay. I'm just asking if there is. If there is, okay, fine. We'll work with that. If there's none, that's fine. Let's just work with fear. Okay? But it makes it, the more specific you are, the more aware you are kasi.
Hmm.
The more into your body you are. So that's what we want you to do. Be self-aware. All right. So now we are going to do a tapping sequence, okay? All right. So you just follow what I do and you say what I say. You're parrot phrasing. So you're just repeating what I say. Okay? And this is going to be the same sequence all throughout. So we're going to tap on the side of the hand. So Coach Don,
Any hand?
any hand, just like here, this side, karate chop. So there's a meridian there.
Okay.
Okay? So we always start with 3 sets of phrases while tapping this side of the hand. And it's the same for all throughout. Okay? So we say, even though I'm feeling this dark circle of fear,
I'm feeling this dark circle of fear,
and it's on my chest.
and it's on my chest.
It's a dull pressure.
It's a dull pressure.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
Love and accept myself.
Okay, so what we're doing is we're reframing. We're telling the subconscious, even if I'm feeling that, it's okay. I accept myself. All right, so 2 more of that. Even though I'm feeling this dull pressure,
I'm feeling this dull pressure,
it's this dark circle of fear in my chest.
it's this dark circle of fear in my chest.
I deeply and completely love and forgive myself.
Love and forgive myself.
Okay, even though I'm feeling this dark circle of fear,
I'm feeling this dark circle of fear,
it's a dull pressure in my chest.
it's a dull pressure in my chest.
I deeply and completely love and forgive myself.
Love and forgive myself.
Okay, now we're gonna start tapping. Okay, so we start on top of the head.
Okay.
This is the crown chakra. You can use both hands. Yeah, on the crown chakra.
Okay.
This fear. Just repeat that. This fear. And remember to breathe while you're doing this. This fear. Okay, on the eyebrows. Tap on the eyebrows. Yeah, there.
Okay.
Here. Yeah, like at the tips of the eyebrows.
Tips. Okay, so dito sa may gitna.
Yes. This fear.
So
these are all meridians that we're tapping. This fear. On the side of the eyes. Here. This fear. Just repeat. And keep breathing because we're circulating, mobilizing the stuck energy coming out as we're tapping. We're assisting with the breath. So inhale and exhale while you're tapping. And then under the eyes, this fear. That's it. Under the nose, this fear. Under the mouth, this fear. And then the collarbone, but we're going to use our full palm on the collarbone. Yeah, collarbone, the 2 bones here.
Yeah.
Because this also hits the heart chakra. So it will feel a little bit of the tapping as well. So I like to stay here 3 counts. So this fear. And then 2 more times, this fear. Keep breathing. This fear. Okay. Next point, you're going to give yourself a self-hug. Okay, and then you're going to tap underneath the arm. For ladies, it's the bra line. Okay, so it's like the side. So here, I like to twist. So push your belly out and twist here like you're wringing out the stuck energy from the spine and the organs. This fear. So this is not part of tapping, but I like to add this myself. It's just a little extra. So you're tapping the side and you're twisting and wringing out this fear. Okay. Okay. And then the last point is underneath the breast. So right where the nipple line is, right there underneath the mouth,
Okay.
this is the liver point. So I like to stay here long because the liver detoxifies physical and emotional toxins from the body. So we like to assist it. You feel tingling, you feel an immediate relief from this point because it's the liver. This sphere.
Okay. This view.
The liver is what takes care of us. The liver is what vets whether one is a toxin or not. It's going to say, oh, this is a toxin. I'm going to get it out of you.
Actually, that actually resonates a lot with me kasi growing up in studying Filipino in college, you talk
Yeah.
about the word pighati.
Oh.
When you talk about kati or hati, that's
Oo.
actually bile.
Oh,
So
wow.
when you say may pighati ako, 'di ba, may intense emotion ka. So sabi nga
Oo.
nila, that's actually, an allusion to bile. So parang
Yeah.
syempre parang, parang I just find it amazing that there's some sort of consistency between different cultures about
Yes.
what what bile and our
Yeah.
internal organs do, 'di ba?
Yes, exactly. What they do for us, the gallbladder, the liver, yeah, all of that. The spleen is very important because it's like a crossroads for other meridians as
Yeah.
well. Yeah, so true. I love that. Tagalog is such a fantastic language.
Yeah,
Even if I didn't know that word.
parang dami pala siyang in like deeper meaning, 'di ba?
Yes. Yeah, fantastic. Okay,
Alright.
so that's the last point, no?
Mhm.
So you relax your hands. You
Okay.
take a deep breath in, and when you exhale, you intend to push out all the remaining energy that wants to leave. When you exhale, that's it. Just push it out. That's it. Okay, and then now we check in. So
Okay.
checking in on your fear, Coach John, you said it was 6.5, and it was a dark circle of dull pressure here in the chest. Has that shifted?
Well, to be honest, I actually feel a lot better.
Good.
I'm not just saying this for the sake of the of the
Yeah.
the live stream or what. Pero to be honest, I feel more relaxed. And to
Good.
think that dahil medyo naka-camera conscious ako, I don't really I'm not doing it as intensely as I'd want, di ba? Pero
Yeah.
yeah, I feel more. I'd say if I were to give a number, I'd say right now it's around the 4.
Nice. Okay.
A lot
Nice.
a lot lower. When you in terms of the sa chest, meron pa rin akong association with it. Pero
Okay.
again, it's not something that's as bothersome as a couple of minutes before.
Nice.
And how often how often would you say we need to do this?
Yeah. So, like what you said, it's a 4, no? The goal is to tap down to 0, 1 or 0, but 0 is a good number to get to, no? So the 4, as a trauma therapist, I would ask, why is it still at the 4? Why is it still there? And is there something new that came up, a new detail or thought that came up while we were tapping? Because that happens, eh. The subconscious will present, huy, ito, tap mo to. Did that happen? If not, it's okay. We can just tap it away, no? But is there anything that came up?
Ako, nothing. I guess the thing that made the biggest difference would be yung sa liver, yung sa my chest.
Yes.
The others, I don't really feel as like it's not like when I do the motion, may may direct effect. 'Di ba?
Yeah.
Parang it's not like, oh, when I touch it masakit siya or what.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not anything like that. Pero
Yes.
yun nga, when it comes to sa may liver na point, it has the biggest impact, I would say, in terms of relaxing me. Um
Perfect.
yeah, so siguro when I guess for ganyan the next stage would be digesting or decomposing why this happened, though, and that's the one you do in particular.
Yes. But I want to teach people to do it themselves. I
Mm.
don't want people. I just want to break the paradigm of dependency on someone. You depend on yourself because you were born with this power that I have it, you have it. If I can do it, you can do it. The type of thing. But Coach Don, it's really interesting that you said the liver point is what really gave you relief because fear is associated with the liver. So if it's associated with an organ, it's liver. So our fear goes to liver. And
So,
then,
nag-align pala yung naramdaman ko.
oh, yeah. Sorry. Okay, so there are acupuncturists that are gonna kill me right now. Liver is kidney. Sorry. Fear is kidney. Liver is anger, but very very close, no, to each other. Heart is indifference.
Okay.
And yon, that is yeah. So what we're doing is we're tapping wherever it is. We're not sure where it is, and then we're just gonna tap it away. So bahala na the body. The body knows where it is. Body knows how to relieve itself, but we're hacking into the meridian system that way.
So yung eventually, once you're more aware about the reason or the underlying cause behind this, then you could put more emphasis on the certain meridians
Yeah.
that bother you the most or give you the most relief, right?
You could, but I would say don't even
Go pa
think
rin.
of it. Yeah, don't overthink it. Bahala si Batman, just do
Just go through it.
Yeah, just go through the whole thing, diba? And so the 4, so you'll find it interesting. If we take a little break from our session, from tapping, is it still a 4, or did that shift?
Maybe a 4 or a 5, ganun. So may nandun pa rin yung ano.
Yeah. Yeah. So sometimes it goes up, sometimes it goes down. It's okay. The subconscious is presenting what you need to work on. So, Coach Don, if you'd like, let's tap again, no? And see, again, I'd like to ask you to be self-aware if there are new thoughts or details that come up during our tapping. Present them to me, and then we will tap it away. Because again, subconscious is saying, ito kailangan niya. Tanggalin mo to. Okay. So we will make it. Tatanggalin natin. Okay? So, in the chest, is it still a dull pressure, a dark circle, or did that change?
I'd say dull pressure. It's still generally the same.
Less intense. Okay. And dark pa rin. So, dark.
Yeah, I would say again, I guess to the viewers, it's not a literal dark patch on my chest, but it's my what I could associate with right there. So yeah, I'd say it's still the same.
Okay, still the same. All right. Are you okay to tap again? Let's tap
Sige.
again. So side of the hand. We'll do it again, even though there's this remaining fear.
There's this remaining fear.
It's a dull pressure in my chest.
It's a dull pressure in my chest.
It's a dark circle.
It's a dark circle.
Right here, right now, I'm okay.
Right here, right now, I'm okay.
Even though there's this dark circle of fear in my chest.
There's this dark circle of fear in my chest.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
Love and accept myself.
One more time, even though there's this remaining fear in my chest.
There's this remaining fear in my chest.
I deeply and completely love and accept myself.
Love and accept myself.
Okay, let's go through the tapping points. On the top of the head, this fear.
This fear.
On the eyebrows, this remaining fear.
This remaining fear.
Again, if there's anything that comes in, welcome it. On the side of the eyes, this remaining fear.
This remaining fear.
Under the eyes, this remaining fear.
This remaining fear.
Under the nose, this remaining fear.
This remaining fear.
Under the mouth, this remaining fear.
This remaining fear.
Full palm on the collarbone. This remaining fear.
This remaining fear.
under the arm. So you can also do just one arm tapping. This
Okay.
remaining fear.
This remaining fear.
And then your favorite point, under the breast, the liver. This remaining fear.
This remaining fear.
So there are also kidney points around here.
Mm.
Kind of intersect. This remaining fear.
This remaining fear.
Okay, Coach Don, I'm going to ask you to just keep tapping until you feel tapping is complete here in the liver point. This is your favorite point. So just tap until you intuit that tapping is complete. And I'll follow your lead. Keep breathing. Release.
Yeah. I guess that's...
Yeah, you feel
Yeah.
it's complete. Okay, so
Yeah.
relax the hands.
Mm-hmm.
Take a deep breath in. And when you exhale, assist the remaining energy that would like to leave and flow. So,
Okay.
okay, and then checking in, I'd like to ask if the fear is still at a 4 or 5, or if that shifted, and also if the dark circle on the chest has also shifted.
Well, I guess it's around back to a 3 or a 4, ganun. The
Okay.
general range, I would say.
Okay.
Yung sa chest, parang, I'd say it's very similar to yung it going down na. Kasi ba nung simula, it's a bit higher. So
Yeah.
ngayon medyo mas mababa na. Pero the thing that I notice is that parang mas malaki yung impact ng pressure point sa eyebrow and below the nose. So this is the second time around, it's something that I guess is more pronounced for me. So,
Wonderful. So you're very self-aware. That is really important. So self-awareness plus the intention will make this work really powerful, make it work for you. And again, I mentioned intention because if you don't believe that this work does not work, it won't work. So your belief plays a really big role in the efficacy of all of these energy modalities. Diba? Kasi you're already parang putting in the wiring that it's not going to work. So it won't. On the other hand, if you believe, oh, this is really working for me, it will do wonders for you. So the experience I've had with my clients, I've relieved deep-seated trauma from childhood. They stopped, depression also stopped. For one of my athletes, kasi nasa bobsled team siya. So, di ba, wala naman tayong snow dito. So, it's really alien to them, that sport, the bobsled teams, di ba? So, the gate opens and then they have to go like 160 kilometers an hour. That's, a lot of them, they make semplang pa. So, maraming fear. When it opens, there's fear, performance anxiety, and fear that they might topple over. So, I did EFT, future visioning of the gate opening. And then we did a few rounds of it, and it also traced back to childhood. So the subconscious gave a childhood experience that relates to that fear of performance anxiety. We processed that also. When they went to Canada and they competed, wala na yung fear, it turned into passion. Sabi niya, I just wanted to, when that gate opened, I just went over without any anxiety at all.
So when you talk about the benefits of this to people, kunwari athletes, syempre the first thing we talk about is performance anxiety. So fear of not doing well, or or making a mistake.
Yes.
So that's, I guess, the number one thing. Yung second would be ano ba, like, you mentioned dwelling over mistakes.
Yes, overthinking.
So, yung parang, kasi ako when I do something wrong, let's say during a race, parang it plays back and back over and over, and minsan parang out of nowhere, parang iba na yung ginagawa mo, biglang maalala mo siya.
Yes,
So that's your subconscious working.
Yeah. That's your subconscious talaga. It's there working. Plus, if you make a mistake pa and you're playing a team and then you cost the team the trophy or the award, there's guilt pa. So guilt is like deep, insidious, really crazy. It really eats at you. diba? The guilt na parang, wow, my team lost because of me. So it's not just a mistake, but there's this other emotion.
Tapos you factor into that the fact that social media is so big now, so
Yeah.
everyone gets a voice, even if, di ba, parang they
Yeah.
shouldn't really have an impact in your life. Dahil may channel na tayo wherein people say things that they probably, shouldn't. Doon
Yeah.
dumadagdag yung stress, di ba? So that's why, for me, sobrang taas ng stress now kasi parang we're all not only are we dealing with ourselves, we're also dealing with other people. So for non-athletes or recreational athletes, of course, we talked about, things like trauma, things like the simple things that I encountered. I'm stressed, I'm anxious, etc. But in particular, when you talk about the impact that this has, let's say on work, on family life, parang are there any particular, let's say, anecdotes or examples where you could discuss how big of a change this has made for certain people?
Yeah, a lot, really big. Um, so performance is performance, no? So peak performance, whether you're an athlete or a high functioning CEO or you're an entrepreneur, online entrepreneur, there's so much that gets in the way, in the way of your performance. Most of the time, it's you getting in your own way, diba? Because you have all these preconceived notions of how things should be, or or maybe it's someone's voice from the past that you're hearing again, and it's skewing how you see the world. So it's your subconscious, of course, but it's your subconscious making katok saying, hey, you have to address this. This is something that you need to do. But before all of these energy modalities came, the only way that we were that society tells us how to address it is through medication and going to the hospital and doing this or whatever. You're just pretty much putting a band-aid on the problem. No, you're just sweeping it under the rug. But now we have this powerful tool that can help you release all of this emotion. So what I would like to do is for all schools to have this for kids so that they can self-regulate, to stop bullying, and also to have it in offices, corporate offices, so that they're all balanced and they're all, interacting well. The dynamics of the office will improve. And this also goes for teams, di ba? Coach, you're working as one unit. Di ba? There's what you call group flow. But if one person is not really in sync with someone because there's an altercation between two people, the team doesn't function as a team anymore. Diba? So it's important to have the dynamics of that go really well. So what I would like to do is to have group EFT sessions for teams, so where they hash out problems, they hash out whatever in childhood is coming back again, or if they have inisan with another team member, they can hash it out right there. Diba? So the end goal is to function as one unit so that they can work together, play together, and win. Diba? So they're not in each other's way and they're not in their own way. So that's how EFT can really help.
So of course, when we talk about this approach, it's not mutually exclusive with, let's say, other types of let's say therapy, diba? Or kasi like what you said, we don't, the goal is really to shift away from an overdependence on medication, right?
Yeah.
But I guess what I want to point out is we're not saying that Western medicine is bad, but in the sense that this can, to some extent, complement Western medicine, right? So,
Absolutely.
yun nga, parang of course, meron tayong mga psychologists that give, like, let's say, antidepressants. But on top of that, they also do therapy, di
Yeah.
ba? Now, it's similar in the sense that this is therapy, the way they're doing it is similar to this in the sense that we're trying to look at the root cause behind these particular things. Now, siguro Naalala ko lang kasi I was watching something, I think it was on YouTube. Parang the question that they're asking is the reason why we're drinking things like antidepressants and all is because they detected let's say a chemical imbalance in the brain. But the thing is it a chicken or the egg? Diba? Is your emotion or is your trauma or is your anxiety causing the imbalance in the chemicals, or is the chemical thing imbalance causing the anxiety? So, parang 'di ba, parang when you think about it, that's a valid question. And
Yeah,
that's also the reason why you should I guess to simplify it, approach it in different angles rather, 'di ba? Kasi I'm pretty sure for some people this won't work. Kasi, their mindset might be different. Maybe another approach might be better for them. So, um would you say this is about finding the remedy or the solution that works best for you as a person,
absolutely.
as a, you know, with a particular personality or mindset? Um, so
Yes.
so ganun yon. It's about finding your niche, 'di ba?
Yes. Yeah, because we are human beings, and the diversification is there. There's so much gold in that. We are not artificial intelligence na robots na one thing monotherapy ito. Although sadly, that's how the medical paradigm is kind of treating us. 'Di ba? They just give us a pill for an ill. 'Di
Mm.
ba? The blame this disease and then tame it with this medication. That's the thing. But the beauty about human beings is that we're different. There's bio individuality. So if this doesn't work for you, by all means, try something else. Now, it also depends on the belief system of a person. Diba? If they believe that the medication is better for them, the medication will be better for them, even if really it won't be. But
Mhm.
if they believe that, then it will be. But if they believe that this is better, that this will work, it will work. Because the mind manifests it. Diba? What you think will materialize into physical hologram. That's what will come out because you thought it first. There's consciousness in our thoughts, diba? It materializes.
So
So
yung one I like to watch documentaries kasi, and feedback from certain types of yung research ganun. Pero one thing that isn't really discussed or given much attention is the power of placebo. So when we talk about placebo, a lot of people frown on it kasi parang placebo ano lang yan eh.
oh,
Parang inuuto mo lang sarili mo, or
yeah.
niloloko ka lang, let's say, ng isang, let's say, service provider or
Oo.
supplement company, 'di ba? The power of placebo. But when you think about it, the placebo actually has a powerful role in our body because, 'di ba, siguro another parallelism with placebo is positive thinking.
Yeah.
So depending on what you get your mind to not just believe but embrace, then it has a result or an effect on our body. Yung
Yes.
isang example kasi, I was watching this uh, video on YouTube discussing again the power of placebo. So meron tayong clinical trials, 'di ba? May medicine, and meron yung inert na iniinom ng may control group,
Yes.
may control group that drinks let's say the inert medicine. So meron naman yung experimental group that takes the other types of medicine. So yung isang person sa control group, supposedly he tried to overdose with the inert medicine, and you know kahit na inert yung tinake niya, at supposedly dapat walang effect at placebo lang, he
Oo.
got rushed to the hospital kasi bumaksak yung blood pressure niya, etc. So basically, he was going through shock. So pagdating
Yeah.
sa hospital, they found out he overdosed. Tapos ang people were asking, parang, oh, what type of medicine is this? Blah, blah, blah. So they contacted daw the people who gave that
Oo.
particular placebo medicine. And when they found out it was placebo, he was in the placebo group at wala dapat effect yung medicine. And when they
Yeah.
told that particular patient, biglang umoke yung signs. So,
Diba?
parang, di ba, parang
Yeah.
ako, pwede pala yun. So, again,
Yeah.
that's the power of the mind.
Yes.
Um,
You
of
totally,
course,
yeah.
when you talk about kasi let's say, Western medicine, of course, this is just my opinion, pero when you talk about Western medicine, we would always need evidence towards this. And ako, I'm an evidence-based person, I'm a database person, but the thing is, not a lot of research has been done to give it enough justice. Diba?
Yeah. But
So,
yeah, I know what you mean. No, go ahead. Go.
diba? Parang, how can you defend it in a particular paradigm or a particular setup wherein it hasn't really been going through the same paces at that it has parang that other types of modalities or treatments have done.
Yeah.
Yun nga, pero I guess when you look at the big picture, again, you always go back to do what works best for you.
Yeah.
Kasi, you know, you could do this, you could do therapy, you could do both. You could have a more general approach. Pero again, iba-iba yung effects sa bawat tao. So it's hard to look at statistics in a
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
a general sense, 'di ba?
Yeah.
Kasi we're all very unique.
Yeah.
Now, sige, so moving forward,
Yeah.
now so we understand
Yeah.
that emotions play a huge
Placebo.
role
Yeah.
in our well-being, both mentally and in terms of a physical manifestation. So
Yeah.
now, to anyone who would like to, let's say, uh, try out EFT, how can they participate in this? Can they do they contact you, or do they just drop by Unlimited? Alam ko by schedule ka sa Unlimited, right?
Yes, and by schedule.
By
Um,
schedule.
yeah, so I am actually building a course that is the path of certification now. So if you'd like to be a practitioner like me and really help people to get over their fears, um, there is an available path. No, I'm starting with a basic course, which is online. That it's evergreen. Anybody can just go on it, and then from there they will learn how to do it on themselves. Because you are always your first client. So I always encourage people to work on yourselves first so that you have enough space to hold for your clients. Diba? So you clear your own first so that you can become a practitioner. But the basic course will cover that, the basics, so that they can do it on their kids, family, friends, themselves. The second level will be more intensive where I will be working talaga with people live and teaching them all the techniques that I know and experience. What works, what doesn't work, what's better, things of that nature. So it will be more intensive. And this is really for people who really want to make a career out of helping other people get over their trauma. So there's that. But there's many avenues as well. People can go to EFTuniverse.com, which is the institution that certified me as an EFT practitioner. They have several videos online so that you can tap with them. So this is energy work. So it doesn't matter if somebody is not there, somebody it's a recorded video or whatever. Just have the intention to relieve yourself, and you can tap along with someone online, and you'll feel instant relief. EFT Universe also has a manual, a mini manual that you can download. So you can read that and start there. It's really so easy, and it's almost stupid because it's so easy and it's so effective. Yun na nga, so what you were saying, Coach Don, about placebo, biohackers love placebo. And by the way, allopathic medicine, 40% of why it works is because of placebo. Because the person taking it is believing, oh, this is going to make me feel better. Definitely, that's why it worked because of the placebo.
So
Placebo is a good thing. We
so the
love it.
trick pala is not avoiding placebo but tricking your body into placebo.
Yes, believing,
Okay.
it
So
works.
that's a different mindset, no? When you
Yeah,
talk about these other approaches, kasi sa totoo lang, a lot of times when I do certain things that, I'm not really sure if this will work for me, pero it ends up
Yes.
working. 'Di ba?
Yeah.
Parang, that I guess speaks volumes. Pero what more if you believe in it already and
What?
it has that effect on you.
Yeah, placebo is so. No, I mean, I think there were studies done by these hypnotists where they would visualize that their hands are getting burned. So there's really no fire, huh? But they're visualizing that it's getting burned. When they open their eyes, there's like first degree burns. That's the power of the mind. Then, in the same token, that's how people can walk on fire and not get hurt or swallow fire. It's the same token. It's mindset. It's the power of the mind. Because all of those sensory stuff, they're all controlled in the brain. So if you actually turn off your pain receptors, you're not gonna feel any pain. So
So,
yeah, just hack into that, diba?
all right. So, I guess when you talk about EFT and these particular approaches, parang ano siya eh. Ako, the way I look at it, it's very low risk and low cost to the
Yeah.
point that you know you don't really have an excuse not to try it,
Yes.
especially if you're dealing with so much, 'di ba? Kasi marami nang umabot sa point that you become desperate that
Yeah.
this isn't working for me,
Yeah.
and or parang you feel lost with what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
So, why not give this thing out a try? If it doesn't work for you, wala naman nawala sa iyo kundi, at
Yeah.
least meron kang peace of mind that uh, you did get to try it. And
Yeah.
if it does work for you, then even better, of course. It's about, understanding your body better. Kasi hearing you and hearing the other types of treatments, let's say therapy, they're all very similar. Self-awareness, being, I guess, in tune or being aware of the underlying cause behind it. Because again, this isn't a reason for you to shut out the stimulus behind it, diba? Like you're stressed because of work. Doing this won't solve the work problem, but it will allow you to adapt to it better,
Yeah. Exactly.
respond to it better, such that it doesn't have a direct effect on you that's bad, diba? So
Yeah.
I guess that's something that I do want to emphasize. It's not magic. It's not gonna solve your problems, but it's
Yeah.
gonna put you in a better position such that you're not stressed. And in
Yeah.
doing so, of course, possibly mas maganda yung response mo to the problem at mas mabibigyan mo siya ng attention and ng time and importance such that eventually you will get to solve that
Yes.
that that deeper underlying cause.
Yeah. It really is perception. You're right. It's
Mm.
just perceiving a particular stress. So another way to look at it is if you follow Stoicism, where it's all perceptions,
Be,
mindset.
not being affected by emotions, diba? Stoicism.
Yeah,
Parang,
stoicism is like you you give importance to the things that you can't control. If you
mm,
can't control something, forget it. Don't even try. So if you can't control COVID, we can't control COVID. COVID's here, whatever. There's this lockdown. I can't control the lockdown. So why are you gonna piss yourself off every day about the lockdown? Get mad at politicians, whatever. Forget it. Don't waste your energy. Instead, allocate your energy to what you can control, which is how you are in your body. Diba? You can control what you put in your body, what you eat, how you move, how you sleep. Those are the things you should focus on.
that's
Yeah.
funny because that's exactly what our good friend Lita Honera, who's a sports psychologist,
Ah.
gave us. Ito yung particular tip that he gave, like, focus on the things that you can control, not on the things that you can't control. In fact, siguro to end this, meron akong nabasang a prayer. Sabi parang, Lord, please give me the courage to change the things that I can, and um, Lord, please give me the courage to change the things that I can, and or not get affected with the things that I can't, and the wisdom to know
The
the
difference.
difference.
Yes.
Kasi
That's yeah.
we can't change everything as much as we want to, as much as ideal as we want to. Pero what we can change is how we feel or how we respond.
Yes,
Right?
exactly. Perfect. Hit the
Right?
nail on the head. Perfect.
Sige, Ellie, we're a little bit nag-overtime tayo konti, but can you just give us maybe some parting words before we end this live stream. Is there anything that you would want to, again, re-emphasize or share? Maybe you could point them towards how they can contact you in Unlimited or through online through your Facebook.
Sure. Sure. Thank you so much for the opportunity, Coach Don, and thanks Ben for starting the stream. But I know he's not feeling so well. So guys, you can reach me at our social media pages. So that's Unlimited PH. That's UNLTD PH. On IG, I'm also Biohacking Pioneer PH. Don't forget, I have something for you guys. So I have a coupon for a free session at Unlimited to experience biohacking, advanced biohacking. So there's a free session. And I also have an ebook that will help you sleep really well. And it's tips that you can do immediately in order for you to feel the effects. So that's pretty much it. The social media pages, our website is unlimited.ph. And I also have my own website, eliabela.com. If you'd like to look at testimonials from my clients over the past 2 years with EFT, how they've moved on in just one session. It's not always one session lang for everybody. It depends on the person, right? But a lot of them, one session lang, it's like, whoa, big shift. So my aim is to help people not be dependent on anyone and just use their own powers. Just be self-reliant, activate your powers, and by first believing in yourself that you can, that you have it in your DNA to move forward and to release what is no longer needed and to download all the information that you need to move forward to fulfill your purpose, your mission, your destiny in this life, and your potential. That's pretty much what I want to
Right.
say.
Thank you very much for that. Siguro, before to wrap things up, medyo na-OC ako. I want to correct the prayer that I read. So it was, God grant me the serenity to accept things that I cannot change and the courage to change things that I can. And of course, the wisdom to know the difference.
Beautiful.
So, I think it's very relatable during this time.
Yes,
Right?
thank you.
So again, thank you guys for joining us and spending your Saturday afternoon. Thank you for taking part in this long but again very interesting session. And of course, you could watch us again next week. We have a different topic. It's gonna be about strength and conditioning and the importance of it during this time. And for that, we're gonna have the Sante Fitness Lab people, and they're gonna share their expertise that can help us prepare for next season. Kahit matagal-tagal pa yung next season, it's important we do spend time preparing for it now. All right, guys. So that's it. Again, thank you for being here, and maybe you could um, drop a message or a comment if you have any questions for Eddie, if you need anything or have any topic suggestions, then we're more than willing and we're more than grateful for you to give us your feedback. Right? So thank you guys and have a great evening.